A week ago, one of my classes assigned a project on Da Vinci's inventions. Naturally, I chose the machine gun. This is the result of the long, torturous hours I spent on this project. Enjoy. You. Yes, you. You will never do something amazing in your life. You're worthless and you should give up. Anyway, back to the script. First off, I would like to inquisitively point out Da Vinci's machine gun is fake. How do I know that, one may ask? Because there was a weapon called the Reboldequin used in the 100 Years' War in 1339 that had almost an identical model to Da Vinci's machine gun. He was born in 1452. Yeah, so that's all complete bull feces. Anyway, the year's 1339. You're armed with silver-lined plating marching through Normandy. The French army had a tactical advantage and you knew that this was not good. Suddenly, several shots from an arquebus are heard in the distance. 8 or 7 men from your front line drop down dead and the horses start panicking. You are assigned to the Reboldequin. You start loading each barrel with ammunition as chaos ensues around you, and with a slight hesitation, you pull the lever to fire the weapon. It goes off. Great. You did it. You champ of a man. You absolute legend. Wait. You're dead. How, you may ask? It was a prototype, and similarly to many prototypes, it was defective. It pretty much blew up right in front of you. That was a shitty way to pass, wasn't it? Blimey. Alright, dude, get to the point. For God's sake, you're trying to do a STEM project, not a bloody war story. Anyway, as I was saying, when Leonardo da Vinci was developing this birth of an idea, he would have never thought that this weapon was used in a whole damn war before he was even born. So since the whole backstory of this weapon is a joke and there's no point in talking about it, let me address the actual topic of this video. Da Vinci is an awesome person, the likes of which you will never achieve. This is Diogenes. He is one of history's weirdest people. He was born around 412, 404 before Christ and worked with his father minting currency. After a while, the business exiled him because he was mixing the coins with substances that were not gold or silver. After a long travel to Corinth, with no home, no place to stay, he became a homeless beggar. He usually performed obnoxious acts such as urinating and, I hope you're ready for what I'm about to tell you, masturbating in public, as well as attending Plato's philosophy classes to disrupt them while he was there. Yeah, Jesus Christ, yeah. Eating whatever food he could find off the ground and sharing it with the dogs, as you can imagine, was not a comfortable life to say the least. Despite all this, he would go on to become one of the wisest philosophers in Greece, which you will never become. Moving on, he would go on to become the foundation to a now widely known cynic philosophy. I'm going to touch on this later, so keep it in the back of your mind. Malala Yousafzai, pardon my pronunciation, was born in Pakistan in 1997. Yousafzai's father was a teacher at an all-girls school in her village. However, the Taliban took over in her town and enforced a ban on all girls going to school. The young girl then went on to publicly speak out on women's rights education, only to be met with a jolly old bullet to the head and a long stay at a coma. She survived. She went on to receive a Nobel Peace Prize in 2014 and is currently studying philosophy, politics, and economics at the University of Oxford. Here's another one. In 1994, the US was a foot's distance away from starting war with North Korea. North Korea had been gathering means to make nuclear weapons. William Parry, Secretary of President Clinton at the time, was briefing Mr. Clinton on options to stop the North Korean program. One of his best options included the bombing of the country's nuclear facility. Assuming this plan would go through, it was likely that an all-out nuclear war would have started between the two nations. Perry knew this and kept his mouth shut, potentially risking the lives of millions of American citizens. A few days later, goes off. Nah, just kidding. A peaceful settlement was reached. This man, just like the previous people I mentioned, are now largely forgotten by people in today's society. They all had one thing in common. They were all simple humans that refused to quiver in front of the face of adversity. Just like Leonardo da Vinci was ridiculed for his innovations being stupid and obscene, these people were rejected or put under strain for following their path, their intuition. If there would be a time in history where taking risks would be ideal, it would probably be now. Remember when I told you I was going to touch on cynicism once more? Right. What is cynicism? Well, for the most part, and to keep things brief, a cynic is a person who has negative opinions about other people, and generally is only interested in helping himself. You could say a cynic is closer to nature. While Diogenes can easily be regarded as a great philosopher, his philosophy has raised great uncertainty and negativity in today's society. Parents, teachers, friends, family, everyone in between, and worst of all, yourself will always scold and rebuke you for choosing a path that will not give you financial stability in the long run. They will look at you with disgust because you chose an unorthodox path to pursue, and if you dare follow such path, you will supposedly never succeed or are better off working at some minimum wage stuck-up job. For God's sake, look at how far humanity has come, and yet individuals dare say that you will not be able to accomplish feats that certain people accomplished in the past. The audacity of these pricks. Every single one of the greats never knew they were great until they were. Nobody has a set destination and no one is born amazing. This sounds quite funny and idealistic coming from a 14-year-old, but may I point out how insane and downright distraught our society must be to undermine humanity and its development. Every time someone tells you you will never succeed at what you're doing, he's not giving you a reality check. Rather, he's losing hope that his own species can prove nature and the boundaries of society wrong. Being a cynic does not mean being realistic, nor does it mean being negative. Being a cynic means you're accepting the inability to respond to adversity. In other words, you're letting go of your responsibility, your ability to respond. Although I'm just 14 years old, there's one thing I know for certain. If someone tells you you can't, you tell them you will. If someone tells you you're wrong, you spit her in the face and tell them it doesn't matter, because as Exurb 1A, my inspiration to make this video, link to his channel in the description, put it perfectly, the cynics will be forgotten just as readily as your failures will be too. So in one's journey to find their path and their way, there will be obstacles, there will be critiques, and may I even say, there will never be success. But what of it? You'll be doing what you believe is right, and that should be enough of a reason, shouldn't it? As Da Vinci once said, experience is a truer guide than the words of others. In order to conclude, when and if you embark on your journey, I'll have one thing to tell you. Bon voyage. And remember, adversity is preparation for greatness.